Okay. 8888. Needle, Alabama. It's only 3 gigabytes. I can't imagine how much it's loading. Is it frozen? It made my computer chug really bad when I opened it. Okay, chapter 1, Apocalypse. This is a game where, oh, hang on. Today's the last day, and it would have been nice to see the blue sky one last time instead of this thick fog, but oh well. Alright, look around and read hotspots by zooming in and out by clicking the mouse. Look at the arrow for a few seconds to proceed. Press enter to change the settings. Okay. Oh, this looks really nice. It's really smooth. You know, this could look a lot more like Alabama if they didn't have the gravel and they had like red clay. I reckon it's going to be a busy day. I've got many of folks to say my farewells to. Um, Look at the arrow. Do you see an arrow? I see this. That's all I see. Is this gonna be a no? Because I'm like too dumb to play it? I ain't fit for these long walks. My old legs is worn out. Oh my god, I had to look at everything. Okay, okay. This game is gonna be horrible for me because I'd be missing stuff. I'll go meet the Engel family first and spend some time with little Susie. She's about 12 and my most favorite child in the world. She's as pretty as a Georgia peach, always has a big smile. Often see her reading through this window here. She's been helping me to read and write, but that gibberish just don't stick in my head no more. I I done learnt how to write my name a few times, but the letters always turn upside down. I'll take these here flowers for Susie. That always makes her merry. So everyone in this town has disappeared. That's like the whole deal with the game. This is where the town children play around this time of day, but I don't see no sign of them. They usually be out here raising Cain, but not today. One time, some town children was playing near this pond and they saw someone moving about in it. Okay. I am a green bean. I I thought it was funny. Look at me. Look at me just wiggling around like a green bean. Look. I'm so embarrassed you noticed. When the children came closer, they saw an escaped black prisoner. I reckon he got shot while trying to escape because he was bleeding an awful lot. Right away, the children started throwing stones at him. Yeah, I'm like the ultimate VTuber. Yeah, 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 yeah. And I hope this game isn't racist. That would be a bummer. One of the stones landed right in his eye and blinded him. This area was just puddles of red. That didn't stop the little rascals, though. They laughed and kept pelting him until Susie came out. She gave the kids hell for what they'd done and made them scramble away. Okay. Well, that's not pleasant. Susie told the prisoner to hide in this here shed. She told no one about him but me. Boy, he was in terrible shape. I don't mind this style of narrative. This is nice. Well, the guards saw the bloodstains here and figured that he was hiding nearby. They found him in the shed and... Hang on, I want to make sure that's the last one. Hey, is anybody home? It's me, old Godfrey. Look, I got some flowers for little Susie. That's funny. Why ain't they home? I'll come back after I meet some other folks. How you doing today, Aardvark? I'm doing alright. My first game just didn't work out, so... Sorry, I'm sending a message. Okay. There's George Grady's house over yonder. Let me go say my goodbyes to him. Are you leaving? Why, where is everyone today? The whole town feels doggone quiet. Ain't so much as a mouse stirring about. Maybe everyone's over at the temple, but I didn't hear about no ceremony or gathering today. That's good. I'm glad that you're doing all right. I'm a little behind on responding to that, but I'm glad. That's good stuff. Okay, yeah, let's go this way. Hey George, you home? It's me, Godfrey. George and his missus been trying for a child almost 6 years with no luck. George shared his plight with our Lord Father Glorious, and was told to bring his lovely wife to the temple for a divine blessing with the Father himself. Well, that was almost 9 months ago, and wouldn't you know that she gave birth to a healthy boy. Look at them. I am so glad for them. That's sick. Just the other day, I seen George here telling some of the folks about how the town ain't gonna put up with the lies no more. He said the trust is broken and that we all are to start an uprising. We've been lied to for too long. Those was his words. Father Glorious is lying? Huh. That's what I took out of it. From it. Dude, these houses are so sick. I don't understand how, well, yeah, I do, never mind. I was gonna say, I don't understand why they had houses so big in Alabama. Okay, learn history, dummy. There's Miss Wilson's place. She's an old widow that took care of me for many years. She told me about the religion, but says that I ain't allowed to go to no rituals 'cause they're evil. She's a fine cook, too. Can't nobody cook like her. Just the other day, she brought so much food to the ceremony that it'd make a man's mouth water. Tarts and cakes and sandwiches, and I don't know what all. Of course, none of us townsfolk got much to eat because the temple elders got served first, and then the temple guards had their fill. By and by, when it was our turn, there weren't nothing except crumbs. This house is decaying and in shabby condition. I should have listened to Ms. Wilson and painted it when I had the chance, but my brain can't remember so good. It's the least I could have done to repay her for her kindness. Hey, there she is, sitting at the window. Howdy do, Miss Wilson. Maybe she'll offer me a cup of cocoa. That's my most favorite treat, and it'd be swell to enjoy it one last time. But I don't think she's sitting in the window. I don't want to go in there. Oh. Open up, miss. I've been thinking about meeting you since morning. It's good to finally see someone in town. Ma'am, it's me, Godfrey. I saw you at the window just now. Hello? What an odd front door. I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be the front door. I lived in a house, well, we moved out of a house a year ago, in like 2 weeks. And every time someone walked into it, they would go, "Man, what a weird house." Why, gee willikins, something ain't right. Has it happened already? Think I'll go talk to Ernest. He's a black servant over at Judge Ravenel's house. Even if there's a ceremony at the temple, sure as heaven Ernest ain't gonna be invited. In memory of Catherine Wilson, 1810 to 1885, widow of John Wilson. That big place is Judge Ravenel's house. He's one of the founding members of the temple. They say him and Father Glorious been friends since childhood. Oh, that's not good. The judge and the father was both just a couple of regular farmers from Needle, Alabama. But now look at them. One's the county judge, and the others are dear Father Glorious. Leave it in thy Lord's hands, for thou can't grasp his ways. Father Glorious said that in a sermon just the other day. I think Father Glorious is full of shit. That's just my IMO. Did you like that? Alright, where's those gunshots coming from? The faint sound of leaves rustling in the wind makes it feel so lonesome and mournful, as if the whole world's gone, dead and gone. Hopefully, Ernest will tell me where the whole town's gone to. I'd like to say my goodbyes, cause ain't no knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. Where my grandparents lived in Louisiana. It just sounded like that all the time. That's just ambient noise with the crickets and the frogs and the gators and the cicadas. You think I'm lying? I'm not. My grandpa would feed gators all the time to keep them away from his hogs, quote. Hello, Ernest, for dreads. Oh! Oh my lord, who's a shooting and firing? Stop firing. It's me, old Godfrey. Doggone it. Who's out there? I better hide behind the house before I get shot. Yeah, man, you better go running. I gotta sit tight and be extra quiet. I'm trembling all over. I can't stop shaking. Look, my hands just won't stop quivering. The town's been talking that this day would come. Most of the folks lost their trust, but they should have stayed silent. They know darn well that what the temple guards is capable of. Okay, here. Man, this got tense really quick. Dear Lord, please save me. I hope I'm safe here. I've just gotta hush and not make so much as a squeak. We told George Grady that he's asking for muck by raising too many questions. Don't he know what became of all the others that doubted the Father? The temple's got ears everywhere. Now look at the dreaded mess we're in. I can't hear him no more. I think the guards went back to the temple. Let me try again if Ernest is home. My old heart's thumping too fast. It ain't good for me. Sorry, I didn't see your message. The only thing that I know about it is that everyone in this town just, like, went missing one day. And it's like half an hour long, I think. 0.7 hours long. Sorry for not getting back to you. I got so locked in. Please, Ernest, I beg you to open up. I'm terrified. I ain't breathing so good, and I'm parched. I just need some water, please. Looks like they're still here. I need to find a place to hide quick. Hang it. It's locked. I think you meant to say dang it, but that's okay. This one's locked too. Okay. Oh Lord, please make them be gone. Let me go have a peek. Well, I don't think that's smart with all those leaves that are right there. But whatever you feel like you need to do. Something's gonna jump scare the shit out of me. I'm gonna. Oh, that. that didn't. I thought the sensitivity was higher than that. May God curse those darn guards. I reckon they went back to the temple. That still don't explain where all the folks is. Everyone gone and disappeared into the fog for all I know. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Gotta take a drink of my coffee. My absolutely frigid coffee. It was hot when I sat down. Farmer Jim lives in that house down yonder, and that's his barn next door. He's a firm and fervent believer of Father Glorious. Never misses a sermon or ceremony at the temple. He's always dressed in his fine white cottons for all the rituals. Says he's been to all of them. I don't know and I'd trust that guy. Say, at least his horse and cows ought to be there. Seeing any sign of life will be heaven sent for my soul. Heaven sent for my soul. I feel I feel terribly alone and empty. I just feel like I'm gonna turn around and somebody's gonna be there. I could have sworn I heard footsteps. There ain't no animals, no horse and no cows. One of Jim's cows had a calf that was recently sacrificed. Jim would have personally sacrificed his old trusted steed if the father so asked. Many of the townsfolk folks have been giving Jim the cold shoulder recently. George Grady told us to be careful what we tell him because Jim's only loyal to the temple. Jim has changed an awful lot since he became a believer. He weren't like this. I like this game a lot. This is very cool. I like the style of storytelling. It's like a point and click walking sim. A rotten stench is coming out of that shed. I wonder what remains Jim put in there, but it's decomposing and giving off a rancid smell. Oh, I think I just heard something. I don't see. Oh, there it is. No use of this firewood no longer. It's been laying here untouched for years. The whole town's supposed to gather in this field tomorrow for the decisive day. Father Glorious had his heavenly vision in this same field more than 20 years ago. Angels came down and gave him the holy revelation. That was the day regular old Avery Cartwright became our Father Glorious. I often sit here and stare at the skies to maybe catch a glimpse of those angels. They say Father Glorious's black hair instantly turned ashen white after his encounter. Thought it was saying back hair at first. I was like, oh, okay. That's like not something that everyone can corroborate. I remember once meeting Jim after the first of the rituals. He had a crazy look in his eyes, like that of a madman or a murderer. He smelled of smoke and burning, kept chanting glory, 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 glory a las plagas. Like a raving lunatic. He became feverish after that for almost a week. I think I did that already. Okay, yeah. I have no idea where I'm like going. Are we going to Father Glorious's house? That used to be Father Glorious's house, but now it belongs to Warden Henry. Say, that's a good idea. I'll head to Cartwright Prison. Maybe they'll know what the deal is. I'm sure the prisoners is still around. See, I ain't no dummy that everyone makes me out to be. Dude, I just really feel like I'm gonna turn around and somebody's gonna be right there. Okay. I. Oh, no, I did not see that. That's not good. Oh, get me the fuck out of here. Yeah, let's go. Okay, chapter 2 Demons. I didn't realize place this was. I've made the long walk to the prison. Can't believe this been my daily walk to work for so many years. My legs ain't what they used to be. Right? So you used to work at the prison. Hey Billy, it's your old friend Godfrey. I ain't reporting to work, so don't get no ideas, you hear? Open up quick. I gotta tell you about the town and how everyone's missing. Oh, look at that sun flare. Lens flare? Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Just as I just as I suspicioned. Ain't no sign of him. Well, Billy's always been a lazy slouch, so maybe he's off napping somewhere. Oh, dot dot dot. Ellipses. I've been a janitor in this prison for many years, and Billy was always talking my ear off with all the gossip in the world. He talked so darn much they even told some of the prisoners about the big day tomorrow, and now they's excited, as if they come into heaven with us. Oh my good lord, I ain't seen a single person all day, but it sounds like that damn dog Stonewall is alive and well. I hope to gracious he ain't coming with us tomorrow. I hate all the guard dogs here, but none is worse or more vicious than that blasted Stonewall. Rumor is he was brought in from Cuba. He was confined as a pup and daily starved, given a snack only when he chased a black person. Ah, so he's a white dog. Ah. He was beaten so often that his skin has thickened. Now he goes rabid just at the sight of a black man, many of whom he's maimed and eaten. I really do sound like Alabama. I laugh not in like a tee hee way, but in like a wow, they're disgusting. And that's just how it is. They could be better. They just choose not to be. You know? Um am I missing it? Somebody's walking. Um there's a door that's open down there. I just am I Oh, here it is. Why, he's become so violent that they almost never take the muzzle off him or he'd bite the warden. I really did not see that there. It was my bad luck one day that I was cleaning near the kennel area and Billy had forgot to put the muzzle back on him. Well, that goddarn stone wall bit through a chunk of my left leg and I ain't been able to walk right since then. There's always two guards up on that tower, but ain't no sign of 'em neither. Billy told me that these guards killed Abe some weeks ago when he was trying to escape. He was older than 80 and would have known he'd get shot. Maybe that was his purpose. Yeah, let's go inside somewhere. Oh no, this is actually fucking horrible. I hate this. Boy, this place is just getting shabbier and crummier since they fired me. Billy tells me that I was the best janitor this place ever had, but now it's all falling apart. Why, just look at all this decay everywhere. I remember this. They took it on the day that they did work on Professor's head. Even Judge Ravenel? Ravenel? Ravenel showed up to see it in person. Strange thing to celebrate. Oh, read letter. All right, to the Honorable Father Glorious. Uh, okay, so this is from J.L. Smith, Chairman of Montgomery South Railroad Corporation. To the Honorable Father Glorious, I had written to you earlier as to the proposed leasing of more convicts. As you are aware, our company has been leasing convicts from Cartwright Prison and have been paying our fair dollar value for them, not to mention my personal donations to the temple. However, our request for 300 more convicts has not been met, and we are in dire need of more blacks. Of the 400 we originally leased, more than half have perished, and work on the railroad has drastically slowed. Our shareholders. Whoops, hang on. Sorry, I just took my headphones out, or one of my headphones out, and it was like, oh, I want to play some music for you. Okay, I beg that you pardon my bluntness, but for the last time, please send us more blacks, or we shall look elsewhere. But yeah, for-profit prisons are great, you know? That was the most satire I could have said that with. I'm so sorry if you, didn't get that, but let me go talk to Warden Henry and see what he figures. Most of the townsfolk say that Warden Henry ain't a bad person, but I disagree. Even when he was a plantation owner, he was well known across the country about how brutally he treated his slaves. Warden Henry was then a colonel during the Civil War, and I believe that further hardened him into who he is today. No black prisoner so much as moves when they hear Warden Henry is coming through. Alright, let's read the letter. Okay, Judge Thomas Ravenel. Dear Henry, it has been brought to my attention that Alabama State Senator Robert Barnes is forming a special commission to investigate claims of abuse at the prison. I'm convinced it was leaked by that detestable smart aleck from Ohio to see to it that he gets what is deserving. Control the deaths and torture in the prison for some days, and for heaven's sake, have the whole facility cleaned. The English language does not have the sufficient words to express the uttermost stench in that prison. Clean up the vile prisoners and make them at least presentable before the commission comes. I am pressing some legislators and even Avery to put an end to the dastardly commission. Therefore, till I hear from them, I remain your most truly, Judge Thomas Ravenel. These people are so fucked up. The office is mighty comfortable compared to the rest of the rundown prison. I'd sit here sometimes while cleaning if the warden weren't in, away from all the chaos and cruelty of the cells. I saw this. Don't worry. Oh, okay. From Thomas Ravenel. My dearest friend Avery, I pray this letter finds you in the best of health. I have not been regular at the temple these last few weeks, but it is only because I have been busy sentencing so many new convicts for our mutual benefit. I endeavor to bring your attention to the bothersome Senator Barnes and the commission he is forming to audit the prison. We must quell this commission through protest by the townspeople. I propose that you heat up the town against the blacks. Perhaps a rape accusation followed by a ritual will get the town into a frenzy. Tell the town that Barnes and the commission want to set all these black rapists and murderers free onto their women and children. P.S. Young Mary has turned 14 and is quite the beauty. I shall be most glad if you arrange a tryst between us during the next ceremony. Always your true companion, Thomas Ravenel. Okay. So he's pretty horrible. Gotcha. They're really like hammering it home that like he's a piece of shit. You know? They're like in case you can't read between the lines here, the lines being the racism. There's just a growing fear in me that it's already happened because Billy and the warden ain't here either. What'll become of old me if everyone's already gone? The black prisoners gotta be in their cells because Father Gloria said many a times that it'd only be us white folks up there. Let me check the cell blocks. The cell block feels dead and hollow, just like everything else today. I always hear cries, groans, and screams here, so the silence feels spooky and depressing. It's sweltering hot. I'm dried up, thirsty. I'll sit down here after I figure out what's going on. Oh, this way. I didn't enjoy cleaning these toilets one bit. They'd be overflowing with filth, and the smell was putrid, but I did it dutifully because I'm a good janitor. There's usually around 20 convicts cramped in this here cell, sweating in the scorching humidity. One of the prisoners, Titus, was kept here and was always friendly to me. He used to be a slave and didn't have no place to go once he was freed after the war. One day he was sitting under a tree minding his own business, and the sheriff arrested him for vagrancy. Judge Ravenel sentenced Titus to 5 years for that. He was leased out to a plantation for a few months after, where he and 10 other convicts was told to clear a swamp down in Jackson County. I heard that they was chained for days in that knee-deep pool of muck. Many got malaria from the mosquitoes and ticks constantly eating away at them. Man, I thought this game was gonna be like straight up horror, and it's just fucking sad, man. The Alabama sun got Titus and him so thirsty they was drinking the same filthy swamp water they'd been standing and wasting in for days. Most of them died from sickness, but Titus made it out. Well, he was sent back here just a couple weeks later because the plantation owner's missus said he followed behind her one evening. That spooked her and she complained to her husband. Is this playthrough just gonna be like white guy learns about racism? Is that what everyone's takeaway is gonna be from this? I know about racism, okay? I've read essays. Titus told me he just wanted to ask her for some water and didn't know what he'd done wrong. A few days after Titus was back, Father Glorious told all of us at the sermon that a young black man had dared touch and rape a white woman and that he'd be brought to divine justice. They held a ritual and Titus was invited, but I didn't go because I was promised Miss Wilson I wouldn't. I never saw him after that. He was no older than 15. Whenever I'm in the cell, it makes me heartsick and blue. There's a prisoner here, and he became a friend of mine. His name is Isaac, but everyone called him Professor. Wasn't even from the South. He was a newspaper writer all the way from Ohio. He was the only schooled black man I ever did see. Well, he'd come down to the South to write about how things was going 10 years after the Civil War ended. The judge didn't like him snooping around our town. Alright, Isaac Jones, most respected Senator Barnes. I take the liberty of describing to you the deplorable conditions as I have witnessed of prisoners at Cartwright Prison in Needle, Alabama. Convicts are brutally tortured and tormented on a daily basis. They are then leased out to corporations for profit in a form of legal slavery. Work conditions at these companies are deplorable, and many convicts are affected by exhaustion, malaria, dysentery, and gunshot wounds. Nearly no leased convicts ever makes it back alive to the prison. Senator, I urge you and your fellow Alabama legislators to probe the disgraceful exploitation that is taking place at this prison. Judges, sheriffs, and the police are part of the racket. You will likely not receive more letters from me since I fear I will be leased out soon, or worse. Yours faithfully, Isaac Jones. Jones? Yeah. Professor was accused of stealing a chicken and sent there by Judge Ravenel for 10 years on the account of grand theft. I never quite figured why a well to do man would steal a chicken, but it was his word against the white farmers. Over time, he got to telling other prisoners about how things was in Ohio. Started filling their heads about mumbo jumbo like freedom and rights for blacks. Well, Billy ran his big mouth off to the warden about this, even though I told Professor to stay quiet about such ideas. The next day, all the prisoners was brought in this area, and the guards dragged Professor out of his cell. Judge Ravenel even came and was given a nice seat. All the rest of us had to stand and watch. Professor was tied down to this here chair. A doctor was brought in and said he'd do some sort of experiment by hooking up big wires on Professor's head. Doc pulled down a lever that sent electricity through him. I've worked here for a long time, but I never heard such cries of pain and agony like I did that day. I remember the foul stink of burning human flesh in the air. Professor was never the same. His jumbled words didn't make no sense. He just gazed into the distance with drool running down his mouth. That's what happens to blacks that think too much around here, is what the warden warned others. I found his dead body in the cell a few days after that. Oh, fuck y'all. I didn't mean for it to be this heavy. These sad memories is making me miserable. I just want to be at a sermon at the temple where Father Glorious always gives us hope. I used to like sitting on this ledge during my workday to rest. The breeze through the window helped ease the suffocating heat. Mercy sakes, that stone wall bark and it sounds nearby. I think he's in the cell block. I'm terrified to death of that damn devil. I still remember the pain when his fangs pierced into my leg all the way to the bone. 3 men had to pull him off, but it ripped the meat from my leg. I've cleaned up the mess many a times after they've used Stonewall on the prisoners. One time the body was barely joined to the head because he'd eaten clean through the neck. Took me all day to clean that mess of blood in this cell block. God, all the terrible memories of Stonewall is flooding back to me. 5 prisoners was once planning to escape, and the warden rounded them all up and stripped them naked. They chained their hands up and let Stonewall and a couple other dogs gorge themselves. They'll be puking blacks today, said one of the guards. I can hear footsteps getting closer. I'm gonna hide in one of these cells. I pray you don't get me. Oh shit, he's big. Man, that's a huge dog. I can't hide in here all day. He'll smell me out. He's tasted my blood. I know he won't just go for my leg today. I'm dead afraid to leave this cell right now. Sounds like he's gone off to the other end of the prison, so I'll head this other way. I gotta stay on my toes, because he could be lurking in the shadows. Looks like some of the prisoners got to scribbling tomorrow's date in the prison. Billy probably never told him that they gonna be left behind during the apocalypse. Father Glorious always says, only you, the true believer, shall ascend to the heavens. Ah, there we go. Boy, I get downright giddy just thinking about the promised land that Father's told us of, where the cream and honey flows in streams, where the ripest of fruits hangs on every tree, where it's only us believers in the green hills and meadows. Yes, many of the townsfolk got doubts about Father, especially that George Grady, but I still dream of the day when the angels will fly us to the heavens. There we go. Somebody really ought to talk sense into George. Why the other day, him and many of the townsfolk was saying they're gonna need lots of help against the temple guards. There we go. And dog my cats. I don't know what that means. George said the craziest thing I ever heard in all my born days. That the town ought to free all the black prisoners so they can help take down the temple guards. He's gone plumb crazy. What exactly does he figure he's gonna do? That he's just gonna march into this prison and open up all the cells? it's raining now. Oh, that's so nice. Hang on. I'm gonna take away my VTube studio. Okay. I just wanted to get a clip. I guess George thinks it's going to be a simple walk in the park. He probably thinks he's just going to come down this here wall. And supposing he hides among the trees and here burrows so the guards don't see him. There we go. And supposing he somehow climbs up this wall and gets in through this here window. And once George gets in, I suppose he's going to open up the cells to free the black prisoners and convince them to march with him to the temple. He really believes I'm going to give him the extra set of keys that I still got. What does he suspect? That the prison guards and the dogs will be asleep? They're going to welcome him with open arms? Alright, 1 second. Okay. Don't he know that the prison guards will be shooting and firing at every last one of them? It would be a bloody massacre. If all the convicts ever did get out, I can only imagine what they'd do to the prison guards. Maybe a group of them would even go after Stonewall for all the terror he's done. Hell, at the end of it, you'd probably find George Grady's body among all the dead, riddled with bullets, even if the prisoners did get out. No, 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 all this can't happen. Somebody better talk some smarts into that boy George, for heaven's sake. I'll have a word with him, if I can find him, that is. I'll find my way out of the prison now. Ain't nobody here except Stonewall. No one would even hear my wails for help if he attacks me. Oops. Oh, big rat. It still sends chills down my spine when I come near this cell, because that's where they used to keep Moses. I feel like spirits wander and haunt this area. He used to be a slave and had told the others on the plantation about how his ancestors used to do some kind of witchcraft or voodoo many years ago, but he didn't believe in that gibberish himself. This is longer than I thought it was going to be. This is also better than I thought it was going to be. The plantation Moses had almost 100 pigs, but they all got swine fever once. The sick hogs would just lie down all day and huddle together in a pile, most of them vomiting with high fevers and diarrhea. A few weeks later, their back legs stopped working and all the hogs on the plantation died of illness. The plantation owner got to hearing those rumors about Moses's witch ancestors and accused him of putting an evil spell on the pigs and on his farm. Judge Ravenel sentenced him for witchcraft. turning weird. Moses was sitting here, although he said he didn't know nothing himself about no witchcraft. That was only his ancestors. A few months after he was here, many of the prisoners got sick with cholera. Cholera? It's not cholera. There's no way. It's gotta be cholera. Again, people started blaming Moses for the sickness, although he'd also gotten so sick he almost died. Many prisoners died from the disease. I hated cleaning up the cells after the piles of dead bodies was disposed, because I didn't want to get no nasty sickness. Praise the glorious Father that I didn't get sick during that time. The warden decided it was best to lynch Moses, because he didn't want him pulling no witchcraft at a convict camp elsewhere. Father Glorious agreed, and it was settled to have a lynching in the town for the whole public's viewing. Moses was none too pleased, said he'd done nothing to nobody. When they was tying the noose around his neck, he said he'd curse the prison and the whole town in Needle, and that his ancestors' evil spirits would forever haunt them. I was there when they hung him, since it's my job to clean up afterwards. The branch they was hanging him on broke during the lynching, and he fell from a height which broke both his legs. They dragged his broken body back to a different tree and hung him again. This time it worked. The townsfolk gave an applause, and I specifically remember the beam and smile on Farmer Jim's face. The memory of his hanging body with his eyes bulging out haunts me every day. I always fear that his curse has put demons and wicked spirits on this prison and town. Everything's gone straight to hell in 3 shakes of a sheep's tail, as the saying goes. I've only ever heard that phrase in Pulp Fiction, actually. And it was, I think, 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Not that it matters. Lambs are sheep, right? His curse that this town would suffer has probably come true. Goodness gracious sakes, I gotta go to the temple and tell Father Glorious about all this. He and he alone can save us. That's what he always says at the sermon. Buddy, I don't think that's a very good idea. What a bad idea you're having right now. Alright, chapter 3, Angels. There ain't much time left for the day to end, and I must tell Father Glorious that Moses' curse has come true. I'm drained from all the walking, but I must endure. Alright. Thank the Lord I'm far enough from the prison now. I often wish that the temple wasn't built on such a high cliff, but I appreciate it today, because I ain't got to worry about Stonewall following me all the way here. Father Glorious had the temple built on a cliff so he can watch over us for our protection. There's many dangers out here for us plain simple townsfolk, and as Father says, the biggest one is in black people. Since the war ended, we've been told that the blacks need to be put in a prison and kept inside, or else they'll run rampant on our women and children. And all that Father asks in return for this protection is that we donate our earnings to the temple, which I've been gladly doing. What a sucker. I remember being in this exact spot just the other day. I was sitting on this here rock with little Susie, and the other children was playing nearby. A couple of children had put pine seeds under this tree and was waiting behind it with a basket. They was trying to catch fox squirrels. Well, they finally trapped one and they hollered with joy. I'm gonna prick this twig through its mouth and out the other end, said one of the rascals, and I'm gonna start a fire so we can burn it like we seen at the ritual the other day, said the other. Susie picked up a rock and threw it on the child's foot before they could do anything. That made him scoot away, and Susie freed the squirrel. She's my most favorite child, always laughing and always smiling with her big bright smile. That was a little redundant, but that's okay. I ain't heard her laugh in a long time, though. She was helping an escaped prisoner, and the temple found out. Soon after, it was announced that she'd been chosen as the new Lady Bliss. I was overjoyed for her. Little Susie had been chosen to be the newest wife of Father Glorious. Father says it's his holy duty to get married 80 times by the apocalypse, and now Susie would be one of the ladies' bliss. I think Susie's like 14. JSYK? So, I can't say this word on YouTube, but we all know what he is. I remember seeing her at the wedding ceremony. She looked like an angel when she was walking down the aisle and sat next to Father Glorious. I looked at her and she looked back at me with the saddest eyes. Oh, how I wish I could have comforted her at that moment. I seen her 3 months later at the next ceremony when Father Glorious was marrying the new young Lady Bliss. Susie stood behind the throne alongside all the other ladies' bliss. She looked different than the other girls because she wasn't smiling. Her eyes had an empty, lost look. I waved to her, but I figured she ain't noticed. I could tell her mind was elsewhere. Wait a goddamn minute. That sounds like Susie. Susie, my child, where are you? Maybe this way. Let's go. Let's go check it out. Oh, that's not Susie. Come on. Susie, it's really you. I'm so glad I finally found you. I can't wait to tell your parents. They've been worried sick about you. I've been asking the whole town since I ain't heard from you, but they always turn the topic when I say your name. They just look down and never answer. Your ma and pa been looking awfully broken-hearted as of late. They don't even look like the same folks no more, with sunken eyes and deep-buried frowns. Feels like all the happiness been sucked straight out of them. Yeah. I can't say it. Slow down, child. My legs ain't so good, and I've been walking all day. Listen, something awful strange is going on. The whole town's just disappeared. Oh boy, I'm gonna sit down by the water for a minute. My dogs is killing me. You're gonna get drowned in here, bud. You're just gonna look out. Oh, look at the sun. What the fuck? Was that supposed to happen? I don't like coming here because I've seen a few dead bodies of prisoners washed up on this here shore. I hadn't seen no gunshot wounds on them, so I figured they drowned or was drowned by somebody. There's the Alabama River. It takes many hours by boat to get to the next nearest town called Shiloh. That's actually where I'm from. I came to Needle more than 15 years ago. Boy, I sure had a different life back then. You should get the fuck out of Needle. Oh, hang on. We got a stream boo chatter. Oh boy, you're gonna be fucking. Your whole account's gonna be deleted in like 30 seconds. Stream boo chatter. I'm submitting the report. Oh, they've received my report. Some of the townsfolk been thinking about taking a boat and leaving Needle for good. It's too late for that now, 'cause the big day's tomorrow, the apocalypse. I did get them, don't worry. I'll let you know when their account's deleted too. They're gonna be like, oh wow, we have determined that they did violate our terms and conditions. Tomorrow on 8888, the whole town's gonna gather in the big field and all of us gonna drink the heavenly milk. The town children will be the first to drink it, then they'll cover their faces with white cloth, lay down in the field, and wait for the angels to take them to heaven. After that, us townsfolk will drink it, and Father Glorious at the end. I get slap happy thinking about the final moments as we all lay on the field with our faces covered. Okay. Some weeks ago, we was all brought to the field to practice the last day, but we was just given regular old milk, not the special heavenly milk they've been making and storing down at the prison. Oh, we've actioned on your report. They determined that a violation of our terms of service and our community guidelines occurred. So we deleted their account. I love it. Yeah. Father Glorious is definitely going to drink the milk. Don't worry. What? Why, I'll be. Where the heck is all the temple guards? There's always a small army of them guarding these temple gates, but ain't no trace of them today. This whole town's afraid of those bastards. They wear ugly green robes and frightening white wigs. Worst part is the masks they wear, with long noses hanging down to their chins, big circles for their eyes, and creepy smiles that stretch ear to ear, and they carry powerful rifles. No one knows who's behind the masks either. I've heard that one must pass many vile and despicable rituals to become a temple guard. I can't even think about those sick customs. I had a nightmare about this exact spot the other night. It was dreadfully scary and really shook me up. One thing that gave me peace was that it ain't possible to happen in real life. I dreamt that there was a whole cavalry of temple guards here, more than 50 of them. They was standing all alert and ready to shoot, shouting orders to each other and taking up positions. There was a terrifying panic in their voices, such that I can't fathom. There, over yonder, a mass of people was slowly approaching and hiding amongst the trees and bushes. It was black faces and white faces, prisoners and townsfolk all together. And the mass of people kept marching forward, hundreds of them. That's when the temple guards started a firing and kept on a fire until this place was just heavy smoke from the rifles. Bodies upon dead bodies lay in wait, black bodies and white bodies, prisoners and townsfolk. Blood streamed into puddles from the corpses, but the masses kept coming forward, stepping over dead bodies, trampling over the almost dead. And a few of the guards ran out of bullets and tried to escape from the growing mob. One guard climbed up this here pole but slipped, fell in the rocks with a bone-crushing thud, and the mob beat on his dead body till the green robe darkened with bleeding. The guard's mask has broken when he fell, and I distinctly remember in the nightmare that it was the dead face of Father Jim. In the nightmare, I found myself as part of the mob, and there was no black or white in this mob. It was just one big breathing, heaving, seething monster. And the temple guards shot away at the monster, but there was no stopping it now. There was just too much bottled up rage power in it. Rage at the lies, rage at the torture, rage at the injustice, rage at the exploitation, rage at the abuse, and rage at simply being made a fool of. But the strong rifles did damage to the beast. Countless human carcasses lay all over this place, some with blown off limbs, others half dead crying for help in agony, but the crowd kept on coming forward to get to the guards. And in the nightmare, some of the scariest parts was what happened when the townsfolk got a hold of the guards. The townsfolk didn't have no rifles, they only brought whatever tools from their homes, like knives, hammers, and axes. The mob pounced on a temple guard, and the townsfolk mashed in his head with iron rods and iron griddles. A townswoman then repeatedly stabbed on his body in hysteria on this here well, all the while screaming like a rabid animal. This game is so cool. I love it. It's so fucking good. In another part of the dream, I saw a group of barefoot prisoners overpowering a couple of guards and grab their rifles from them. The prisoners didn't know how to fire the gun, but mistakenly pulled the trigger and shot the guard through the stomach at point-blank range. The force of the shot pushed the prisoner off his feet and he flew down this ledge. As for the guard, the shot almost blew his body into two halves. And the crazed crowd just lurched forward. They was covered with the mixed blood of dead prisoners and dead townfolk and dead guards. They was drenched in sweat from the sweltering humidity, and their eyes had the look of pure lunacy. Oh, there we go. Some folks had brought with them firelit torches, and they lighted ablaze the dead bodies of the guards. They hollered and laughed like wild children, as if there was anything funny about it. Hang on. Okay, I had to do some burping. You didn't have to know that, but I did. At the end of the dream, all the guards had been killed. The prisoners and townsfolk sat here, all in complete silence. Then one of the townsmen broke out in loud sobs, and the rest of the folk joined in mourning the loss of the town children, of their fellow townsfolk, and of their hope. Others cried for their newly found freedom. It's strange I have the same nightmare almost every night, and I always wake up screaming and crying from it. It wasn't easy, but I finally made it to the temple. I'm already starting to feel peace in my mind because I've arrived to my most favorite place. I wish everyone could see how grand the temple is. The lovely marble on the floors is from some far-off country. The fine wooden roofs is all the way up from Oregon. The stained glass mural is by some fancy artist up north. I'm going to bow down at Father Glorious's feet even longer than we usually do, because I'm so delighted to see him. I can finally tell him how everyone's gone missing. I'm sure he'll find a solution. But, come on now. I wonder if they'll let me into the temple, though. There's been too much tension between the town and the temple recently. And the tension's been taking a toll even on poor Father Glorious. At a sermon some days ago, he said there was traitors among us, and he broke down crying, asking if we'd lost our faith in him. We all shouted a resounding no, and told him that he's our savior. How could we ever lose our faith in him? Thankfully, that cheered him up, and he was all smiles the next minute. Is that the temple up there? Oh no. Not the temple. Oh my lord, our temple is on fire. Oh lordy mercy. Help, please, somebody help. Our holy temple is burning. Oh sweet Lord, have mercy. Not the temple. Sorry, I should have reacted harder than that. Look, I'm so fucking mad. I'm mad about it. Oh my god. I can't turn it off now. Okay, there we go. The whole temple is on fire. It's all burned down to hell. Damn that George Grady and the rest of the non-believers who's been planning this. They burn it down. They really burn it down. Where's Father Glorious? Where's all the ladies' bliss? God Almighty, what should I do? There's just nothing left no more, and there ain't a soul here to help me. Too much blood, sweat, and tears went into building this temple, and many blacks died during its construction. Father Glorious said it'd be the last structure standing during the apocalypse, but now it's all gone already. Yeah, let's go in. Why, this is where us townsfolk would sit on the floor when Father delivers his sermons. It was only a few days ago when he was preaching and getting us ready for the last day. And this is where Father Glorious sits on his mighty purple throne, his many wives standing behind him and current Lady Bliss beside him, and behind him the mosaic showed Father's encounter with the angels. Don't they all say that, though? And these here special rooms, none of us townsfolk is allowed in them. They're only for Father's special friends, like Judge Ravenel, the sheriff, and other big officials. They always accompanied by one of the young ladies' bliss. But now it's all been burnt down to dust by George and his merry band of non-believers. Y'all ain't coming to heaven with us tomorrow. You can burn and scorch here during the apocalypse. Tomorrow? How is any of us going to heaven if Father Glorious ain't here? What's going to happen tomorrow on the big day that all of us been waiting for? Ah, this way. That was hard to see a little bit. Are all of us honest to God believers also going to burn in fires when the apocalypse happens? Are we to suffer for the acts of those doggone non believers that did this? No, no, no. I've been running all over hell's half acre preparing for the big day tomorrow. I done waited patiently all these years to go to heaven and taste the streams of honey and the cream and the fine wines, and be in the green hills away from this cursed stinking town of Needle and the cursed Dagnab prison and all the death and the dead bodies and the torture. And I'm getting dizzy and I can't think and I'm too old and I'm thirsty and I'm drained and I'm getting dizzy. Sounds like me and all my complaining. I love complaining. Alright, what's going on? Me too. Look, I'm gonna bend the other way. Oh ma, what happened? That Susie scream. Where am I? Must have passed out and it's already night. Susie, where are you? I gotta find and help her. She's in danger. She's a strong girl. Ain't like her to scream. She helped an escaped prisoner knowing darn well what had happened to her family and herself. Her ma and pa was beaten up by the guards in front of the whole town and in front of Susie. Her parents only agreed to the marriage after the temple threatened him with a much worse fate for her. The last time I saw her at the temple, she was standing behind the throne with the other ladies' bliss. She dropped a letter for me, and I sneakily picked it up when I bowed down at Father's feet. I gave the letter to George Grady because he's one of the few folks in town that can read. I don't know what it said, but I remember seeing the color leave his face after he'd read it. He wrote a reply and asked me to give it to Susie, but I ain't seen her since. Based on Susie's letter, George called a secret town meeting late the other night. That's when he proposed his silly ideas of freeing the prisoners to take on the temple guards. After the meeting, when I was sitting alone at home, I heard a knock on the door. Well, lo and behold, it was none other than Farmer Jim, and he brought along a bottle of freshly made moonshine. Hang on 1 second. Sorry about that. I had to send a message. I stopped drinking many a years ago because Miss Wilson says the devil's in that bottle. Well, maybe I did have a wee bit here and there when she gone to bed early, and Billy slid me a few sips every time we had a hard day at the prison. Anyhow, that no good farmer Jim wheedled me into having some moonshine with him, and I had too much to drink. I told him stuff from the meeting that I ain't ought to have. I'm sure Farmer Jim went and told the temple about the townsfolk having doubts about the apocalypse. I cussed my damn self for spilling the beans about the meeting. Yeah, you should. Our narrator kind of sucks. Okay, this is from Susie. Dear Mr. George, I dearly pray you read my first letter, as I had written. You must do all you can to stop the town from drinking the heavenly milk. The town has been lied to about everything. I beg you, please, please save the people. The temple has started suspecting me. Give my love to Ma and Pa, Susie. I wish to heaven I would have learned how to read when Susie was trying to teach me, but I always keep forgetting everything. I ain't got the time to figure out what this letter says. Judging by the moon, it's already well past midnight. That means the apocalypse is upon us, but the angels ain't gonna come unless Father reads his special prayer. There's only one place the mob could have taken him. I got to find him lickety split before they do it. I'll leave these flowers I picked for Susie here. Yeah, our guy is clueless. I dragged myself down the hill and made it to the farms that laid back to the town. I'm going as fast as I can, but something ain't feeling right. I'm gonna break my little bean back. Oh. Oh. I gotta stay positive. Everything's gonna be fine. Lord willin' and the creek don't rise. These dagnab fools burned down the temple, but they'd never do nothing to Father Glorious. No, they wouldn't lay a finger on him. Why, he spent his life for our benefit, looking over us, protecting us, and preparing us for today. Whatever misunderstanding the town's had, he's still our Father Glorious, so I'm sure they won't harm him. That's not what I think. No, they ain't gonna do what was done to Titus. I promised Miss Wilson I wouldn't go to no rituals, but gosh darn it, I went to the one Titus was invited to. I'm gonna do my best to not snap in half. I saw when the townsfolk dragged Titus blindfolded through these meadows in their white robes while chanting glory, 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 and I seen what they brought him to the big kiln they call Hellfire. Glory all those bloggers. And I seen when Farmer Jim lit the fire and the townsfolk sat on benches, and as Father Glorious read from the holy book, I remember seeing the terror on Titus's blindfolded face. He could smell the black smoke and must have known that it was coming. Titus was then tied to a stake, kicking and screaming. He was carried into the raging fire as it swallowed him up whole. All of us just sat and watched, even the town children. Like, my guy doesn't think this is like a little fucked up. Like the whole situation. You know? And that's where they're taking Father now. They're going to tie him on a stake. They're going to light the fire, and those non-believing bastards are going to burn him alive. There's going to be nothing left of our Father Glorious but his charred body and ashes. I'm losing it again. I've got to breathe and be calm. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Everything's fine. We all been waiting too darn long for this day. I'm gonna find Father Glorious soon, and he'll be dressed in his fine white robe. The cope. And soon when it's dawn, the town bells will toll, and all the townsfolk will congregate in the field. There will be joy on everyone's face, excitement that we'll all soon fly away to heaven, and many of the folks will be looking to the skies to try and see the big bright light that the angels will shine. Oh my god, I don't have Mix It Up open. Hang on. 1 second. Hang on. One second. You gotta redeem the treat again. But don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Okay, now do it. Now try it. Let me see if that works. Oh no! God damn it. Okay, I could change that, but that's gonna take, like, too much time. I'm sorry. You'll get your daily treat tomorrow or whatever. And when everyone's gathered, Father Glorious will read us his final sermon, and he'll remind us how blessed we are to be believers. Only we'll listen. Wait, hang on. And when everyone's gathered, Father Glorious will read us his final sermon, and he'll remind us how blessed we are to be believers, for only we'll ascend to the promised land. And for the non-believers and the blacks, they'll be destroyed by hails and fires, and everything will be devoured by the blaze of the apocalypse. We'll look down from the sky to see this sad old world burning. And when the final sermon's complete and the townsfolk have applauded, the temple guards will bring the heavy kegs filled with heavenly milk. Dude, this guy is out of it. Out of his mind, I mean. And first, all the town's children will be lined up, and they'll be given a glass of the milk. They'll be told to drink even if it tastes foul, and after that their ma and pa will tie white cloths around their faces, and the children will lay down in the field, and it'll be the parents' turn to drink the milk. But then something will go awfully wrong. Many of the children will start screaming the most painful, heart-wrenching cries, and then more children will start wailing and shrieking in complete torment. And many of the children will be grabbing their heads and chests with extreme pain, the legs they ain't never felt, and many of the white cloths wrapped around their heads will become stained and filthy with puke. Alright. And the parents will run to help their children, but they'll be stopped by the guards with powerful rifles, and the desperate parents will push the guards away, but the children will have already stopped screaming and crying, and they'll have fallen face first on the field, laying without breathing. And the parents will finally start understanding the whole truth, and they'll fix their manic eyes on the temple guards and Father Glorious. And Father Glorious will give instructions to the guards, and that's when they'll start firing and blasting at the townsfolk. And some will die by gunshots to the head, to the chest, and to the back. Others will die getting crushed as the townsfolk rush to lock themselves in their homes. But the guards will shoot many a door open and kill whomever they find inside. By and by, the guards will run out to The guards will run out of bullets and they'll safely take Father Glorious back to the temple. I have to leave in like 10 minutes. I thought this game only took like 40 minutes to do. Say, I can hear the sound of chanting. I reckon I'm close to the mob. I better hurry and get to them before they light the fire. Please don't do it. Y'all gonna be forgiven if you repent and let Father Glorious go. Even George Grady can be forgiven for plotting against Father. Damn it, I never should have given him that blasted letter from Susie. It got him really riled up. I don't even know what it said. And I should have never given George the extra keys to the prison. I didn't know he'd actually pull off his ridiculous idea and free the black prisoners. And I should have never drunk that moonshine. Okay, sorry, I didn't read that fast enough. Why, what in tarnation is that damn dog Stonewall doing here? Boy, I've really lost my marbles. That dog was killed when the prisoners escaped. I've been looking forward to this day for more than 14 years, dutifully paying my earnings to the temple and devoting my heart and soul to Father Glorious. It was supposed to be the happiest day of all our lives, the day when all our miseries would finally go away. Man, look at that moon. Indeed, the apocalypse happened on 8/8/88, just not the one he was promised for so long. Why, what sort of milk from heaven causes little children instant brutal death? You're in a cult, my guy. And what kind of temple kills their own congregation? And what kind of leader peacefully watches a violent massacre unfold on his own faithful believers? Father Glorious must have had some divine reason. How could he wrong us? They already lit the fire. For the love of God, let him go. Whatever he did was likely for our benefit. Only he can take us to the promised land. Let's all forget this wretched world behind us and ascend to paradise with the angels. My guy is like not fully there. I've seen too much on that dreaded fateful day. Too much death and too much bloodshed and too much savagery. Please take me away from here. I've been living through the same nightmare for too many years. I can't take it no longer. I've been looking all day, wondering where the townsfolk and the prisoners disappeared to, but I finally remember where everyone is now. They're all dead and gone since years ago. It didn't let me read anything there. I don't know if it glitched or if that's how it's supposed to be. Oh, no, that's how it's supposed to be. Okay. So, like, what year is it? Is it 88? Or was 88, like, years ago? The whole town says I'm a dummy because I can't think so good and I keep forgetting everything. But I ain't but I ain't no different from the others. See, we all simply forget things we've seen and we ain't never learned from them. Yeah. He's like, my, what could have happened? I heard Professor telling the other prisoners one day, we forget what's happened in the past, and we let it repeat again and again. Nothing is going to change unless we stop forgetting. Phony, dishonest prophets will keep springing up and sing their gospel of us against them. They'll keep dividing us for their own benefit. We'll keep praising them and following them with eyes shut and minds closed. When are we going to start learning from the past? When are we going to open our eyes? I'm gonna just curl up and sit here a while. I'm old and I seen a hell of a lot that ain't no man oughta. And I know darn well when I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna forget everything and live this same day over again, just like I've been living it repeatedly for the past 12 years. So it's 2000? I wish I'd died in the mines like all the others that day many a years ago. Oh Lord, why do you let me live and see all that I seen in this cursed town? Why? Why? I don't like this ending. Alright, 27 years earlier. Everybody, get out, the mine's coming down. Get the hell out now, save yourselves, it's all crashing down. Yeah, let's get the hell out of here. Oh my god, I can't see. Help me, help me. Get out, Godfrey, you can't save him. Hurry up or you won't make it. Goddamn the mining company for sending us down here. My lord, it's just mashed bodies under the rocks. Oh my lord. Oh. Sorry, didn't see that. I would have died in here. You're almost out. There's the exit. Hurry up now. Okay. I did not like that ending, but I like the rest. Oh, notorious prison shut down after scandal. Judge and sheriff accused of profiteering from prisoners. Cartwright Prison has been permanently shut down following a damning report by Senator Barnes of Alabama. The report detailed a litany of abuses, torture, corruption, and convict leasing. The majority of prisoners were black, and many had committed more petty crimes, if those. A district judge, the sheriff, and several officers are being investigated for corruption linked to the prison. They advised sighting of the mysterious bright light in the sky leaves many in awe. Several residents in the small town of Trinity, Alabama, were left in a state of shock when a bright, mysterious flying object appeared in the sky around dawn. Witnesses say the strange object, described as a large bright light, was first seen hovering in the air before flying off at an incredible speed and disappearing into the sky. Despite the many witnesses, authorities have been unable to provide any explanation for the phenomenon. One witness described the experience as if a star was falling to the ground. Alright, mass murder and suicide. Authorities yesterday made the shocking discovery of hundreds of dead bodies in the small town of Needle, Alabama. The bodies were believed to be members of an obscure apocalyptic cult as well as escapees from a nearby prison. Several survivors detailed chilling accounts of the day that began with children being poisoned during a ceremony and ending with the cult leader Avery Cartwright being burned alive in a kiln that the cult referred to as Hellfire. The lead investigator said that he had never seen such disturbing scenes of death and carnage in all his years. Mary Jones, real identity hidden, has detailed her traumatic childhood in the infamous kinship temple cult of Needle, Alabama, where she was a child bride to the leader, Avery Cartwright. She was shot in the leg while making a harrowing escape from the temple and was rescued by authorities after the shocking events that took place in the town exactly 50 years ago on August 8, 1888. I never want to go through what I did, Mary said, her voice shaking with emotion. The whole town thought I had died after the gunshot, but I managed to escape into the woods. Fuck! In a tale of tragedy and survival, a coal mine accident has left dozens dead and only one person miraculously alive. The accident occurred when the mine collapsed in a landslide, trapping dozens of miners underground. Despite the efforts of rescue teams, only one person, Godfrey Davis, was able to make it out alive. After being inspected by doctors, he was described as severely brain damaged. We will rehabilitate him and then shift him to a nearby town. With the proper care, he will be able to put this traumatic experience behind him and hopefully lead a normal life. Oh. I read almost all of that. Also, what the fuck was. Oh, 8/8/1866. 22 years before. Oh, there's more. Okay. Stop your goddamn hollering and mooing, you stupid cow. I'm coming. Can't a man get no goddamn sleep around here? What's the world come to that I, a Cartwright, has to tend to the horses and cows personally? The war done ravaged my whole business. Those lousy, no good Yankees destroyed my land and then freed my ungrateful damn slaves. Hell, I gave those blacks food and shelter, but they betrayed me in the end. That kind of was like it was all but a dream, kind of ending. They left me the minute they could, just like she left me as soon as my money done run out. Curse all of them, curse this blasted cow that just won't stop hollering. Ah, so your racism started with misogyny. Gotcha. Isn't that how it all starts? Well, not starts, but they go hand in hand. I miss the good old days, just to be sitting on my porch watching the slaves work in the fields, hearing them say, yes, sir, every time I ask for anything. But now look at me. Ain't got no more slaves, no more money, no more family, and no more damned respect. You know what? I'm gonna say you asked for that. All I got left is a couple of cows that don't let me sleep and a rotten job at the prison. Boy, whenever I get the chance, there's gonna be hell for all those who wronged me. I'm Avery Cartwright. I'm gonna show everybody again once I get back on my feet. I've been riding with the Klan. I've been going back to church. The Lord's gonna show me the way. Where the hell did all my cows go? Man, even your cows left you. Uh... Um... You would think that I would be able to see the bright blue. Ah! Are we really going with aliens? Is that what we're doing right now? Are they like the reason for your racism is just aliens? Thank you for playing. If you enjoyed, please leave a review on the store so we can make similar experiences in the future. I am gonna do that. I am gonna leave a review. I like that a lot. That was pretty damn good. Alright, well, I have to leave in 5 minutes ago. So I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go to my ending soon screen. I'm gonna play some music, and then we're gonna get off of here. Yeah, I thought the aesthetic was really cool. I said this earlier. I think you were gone. Um, but I said it's like a point and click walking sim. And I was like, yeah, that's sick. I love a walking sim. I'm bad at point and click games, but I do like them. I like watching them. All right. Let's be done. Happy Halloween.